Okay, good morning everyone. Today I thought I'd do a bit of a different video to see if I can help everyone out there. This morning I'm going to try and teach everyone, or as many people as I can, how you can make a YouTube thumbnail by using Adobe Photoshop. So whether you've got Adobe Photoshop CS6 or whether you're using Adobe Photoshop CC, just going to bring my laptop screen a bit closer so you can see a bit better. Right, so it's very, very simple to do this, and the reason for doing this as well is, say for instance, if you want to upload a video to YouTube and you want it to be very eye-catching towards your audience, okay, so obviously people are going to click on it. So what I'm going to do is, obviously, I'm going to show you very, very simple steps of how to do this. So if you've got Photoshop installed to your computer, yeah, obviously I'll put my little icon on the desktop so you can see it's here, yeah, then obviously click on your icon and just load up the program first, all right. So because I've got a previous video that I've got an idea about how I really want to do this, I've got a rough idea sort of like what I want to do to implement the different things within the picture itself. So obviously, like, after I wait for the program to load up, I'm going to go onto the internet and then get a few little bits already. So what I'm going to do is go onto Google at the minute while Photoshop is going to load up, because this does take a little bit of time to load up. So I'm just going to wait for Google to start. And then I've got a rough idea on, like I said, on the different implements that I want to put within the video. So if I go up to Google itself, and then I want a nice background. So this is what we're going to start with first, a decent, nice background, okay? So the best thing that I would say is just type in background first. And then you can choose from loads and loads of different like backgrounds that you want. It has a massive amount of categories to choose from as well. So I'm just going to wait till it loads up. Computer's running a bit slow this morning. Right, so here we go. Basically, what you need to do is click onto where it says images. So I've selected images. And as you can see, there's loads and loads and loads of different images to pick from. So depending on which one that it is for your video that you want, obviously, if you've got a certain category that you want to work on, then obviously you can use that. So I want, say, like, I'm going to be doing like about a delivery service, because this is what the video is about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in background space delivery and then see what popular pictures come up. So I think this one will be a pretty good one. So what I'm going to do is still have a little scan through, because I might see other better ones. And remember, it's got to be eye-catching. So if you manage to find one that's eye-catching, I think this one's actually the one I want to go with, okay? So I'm going to click on this one, wait until it's nice and big on this side here. Just minimize this because Photoshop's just loaded up. Right, so I'm going to right-click on this and then go down to Save Image As. Okay? So once I want to save it as, it comes up, it says JPEG, and obviously it says number 12. Okay, so I'm fine with that. I haven't got anything else that's saved on my desktop as number 12, so I'm just going to go to save. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is, now that it's on the desktop, as you can see there, right, Photoshop has opened up now, so it's ready to go. Now, when you open up Photoshop, yeah, it's got to be a certain size for the picture. Okay, so you can't just upload any sort of like A4 sort of size, because otherwise when it goes to uploading the picture onto the YouTube website, it's not going to be looking very like actually in the right orientation. So what you need to do is go into File, up the top, and then go into New. Okay, and these dimensions, it has to be the correct dimensions, because otherwise, like I said, it's not going to work like perfectly. With me, I've already got it in my preset, so all I have to do is just click on my preset and then it'll always work out. But the best thing that you can go, right, is basically go File, New, and then the width has to be 1280, okay, and it has to be on pixels, and then the height has to be 720, and that also has to be on pixels, right? The resolution is 72, that's on pixels / centimeter, and then the color mode is RGB color, and in 8-bit. The background contents is white, okay? So make sure that you have all of these, right, selected, otherwise you're not going to end up with the correct size for the image. And then all you have to do is just press OK. Once that's like done, it's going to give you the preset size for the actual image. Okay, so here it is. All this here, all this space on this white screen is going to be the actual picture size that you'd be able to work to. Okay, so now that I've got my picture on the desktop, I'm going to drag it into here, and then we're going to alter it a little bit. But like I said, you can download any picture that you want from the internet, all right, and just play around with it for a little bit. So obviously what I do now is I'll just stretch it out a little tiny bit more, because obviously sometimes with Photoshop, if you don't stretch it out a little bit more, you might end up with like a little tiny white border around the edges. So I always stretch it out a tiny little bit more than it's supposed to be, and it's not going to ruin the quality of the image. Once that's done, click the place button or the move to tool, okay? And we're going to place the image now. Once that's placed, I'm very happy with that, okay? So what we're going to do now is also go back onto Google, all right? And this is obviously like just my own sort of like things that I'm going to look for. So I'm going to do a little bit of research now, okay? So where it says delivery here, I'm really happy with this. But we can also put a bit of text in here, but I'm going to show you how to do text in a minute, all right? But I'm going to look for a question mark, okay? Or maybe type in the word problems and see what comes up. And if I see something that's eye-catching, okay, I'm going to select that one as well. So now that I've got background and delivery, this is just for the background, but now I want something that's going to be eye-catching. So if I type in problems, and then it has to be PNG, okay, PNG. Because basically what PNG stands for, right, is it sort of like it's an image that will be able to go over the top of another image, but with no other background that's obviously involved with it, okay? So it will be floating in a way over the top of another image. But for instance, like this one here is pretty cool, right? This one's here's pretty good as well. But seeing as this person is standing with a mobile phone, that's probably a good thing. This one here don't seem too bad either. So depending on which one it is, I'm going to have a little click on here. I like the look of this, but I also like the look of this. So it's totally down to you, whichever one that you want to pick, okay? And always make sure that it says PNG on it as well, because I'll show you in a minute exactly what I mean by floating, okay? So it'll have a transparent background, okay? So I don't know if you can see all these little squares here, yeah, but basically this image will be transparent, like all the background of it. So with a bit of luck, we'll be able to see the person. Yeah, it's worked. So we'll be able to drag this into here now, and I'll show you what I mean. So now the person's actually transparent. You can see actually through the picture as well in a way. So now you can resize this to any size that you want. So I can put this guy up in the top corner. Okay. So it's not that like you only have to use the mouse, because I'm using the mouse as well, right? But even if, like, say for instance, you place it here, you can always use the little arrow keys as well. Okay. So you can like push it over a little bit more towards the side, whatever sort of area that you want. So I always make sure that my pictures stand out, and I want to resize it to that sort of size. So I'm very happy with that. I think that's a really good sort of start. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place that where it is. And now, obviously, it's in place. I still want to like change it about a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is, even though that this says delivery on here, I'm going to go into the text option. So this here is the little T button. So if I click on the text option, it's going to allow me to type some text in. Okay, but here you have loads and loads and loads of different fonts. If you click the drop down menu, you can select any font that you want. I normally stick with a normal like basic font, but I mean you can change it up a little bit. So I'm going to click on this one here. So that's my normal basic one that I'm on. And you've got the size option as well, so whatever size you want it. So if I go into number 30, click here, and then I'm going to type in problems. There we go. But obviously now that that's there, okay, you can sort of place this wherever you want it, anywhere you want it. So you can even put it at the front of the van where I've got it here, or you can put it underneath, or wherever it is that you want, okay? But what I'm going to do now is obviously I'm going to place that here, because I think that looks pretty good underneath the van, because obviously it says delivery and it says problems here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to enhance this text, and then I'm going to also enhance this little character here. Okay, so over on this little tab here, yeah, you've got obviously the problems, which I've typed out, and then obviously you've got the problems PNG. This is the little guy with the mobile phone and the gears, and obviously the little question mark. So first of all, I'm going to enhance problems. Okay, so if I double click on here, this little box will come up. Okay, Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make this look a little bit like better, where it's going to stand out a bit. So if you click on a few of these options, you've got many options to pick from, okay? So the first one I'll click on is bevel and emboss. What this does is it gives it like a sort of 3D part that makes it stand out a little bit more. Now, contour always neatens it up as well on top of it. But if, say, for instance, if I go into drop shadow, that puts a nice little shadow underneath every single one of the letters. All right. And then outer glow will make it stand out a little bit more. Okay. So see where it's standing out a little bit more now? Inner glow will obviously enhance it a little bit more. Okay. But I'm going to untick that. But I'm just going to go through a few of the options so you can see. Gradient overlay is something that I always use all the time. And I think that it stands it out a lot more because you've got like a black and white effect as well. Okay. So if you put too many effects on it, it's not going to be able to sort of stand out. It'll end up getting a bit OTT. Stroke, yeah, we'll put a black borderline around all of it. Okay, so like I said, it's up to you on whichever ones that you want to obviously use. But I want to make sure that it stands out pretty well. So I'm very happy, obviously, like with what I've picked at the minute. But you can even use like color overlay. So that stands out a little bit more. So I'm going to go with that, okay? Once that's done, don't click cancel, whatever you do, because obviously it will undo every single thing that you've ticked. So make sure you just press OK. So once that's done now, that will be in place. So you, like I said, you can still move it about and whatever you want. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to enhance this little character here so he stands out a little bit more. So like I said over in the tabs before, all right, if we click on this one here, the PNG, all right, and then we move our little box over to the other side, yeah, if you click on bevel, yeah, so you see how it's enhanced him a little bit more, and then contour, so I want to give him a little bit more of a 3D effect, and then always go with drop shadow. Drop shadow gives it like a nice little 3D sort of background drop. Once that's done, maybe an inner glow. See, I'm still messing around with the settings to make sure that I'm very happy with it. Pattern overlay, no, that looks a bit silly. So gradient overlay, no, that looks a bit much. So maybe color overlay, no, that's all in red, so we don't want that. Satin sort of like glosses it out a little bit more. I think that that's pretty good, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so we've got delivery problems, and obviously like we've got the guy here with the mobile phone. So what I'm going to do now is obviously I'm going to have to see if I can get some other logos, like company logos, especially seeing as this is like about Hermes or DHL or DPD. So I'm going to type in Hermes and see what comes up. And this is the one that I want. So let's have a little look, see if I can find it. And unfortunately, this is a JPEG, I can tell. But like I said, you have to just keep going through it until you can find the right one to suit you. This one looks pretty good, but if it don't save as a PNG, even though we've put PNG, it says PNG here, sometimes the PNGs are a little bit tricky. So if I press save now, we'll see if it's got the transparent background. Sometimes it hasn't, but it looks like it has. So just drag it in there. And it has actually come up pretty good, so I'm happy with that now. What I'm going to do now is resize this, and I want it to stick out, so I'm going to put this up here. So I'm pretty happy with that, the placement of it. So yeah, so what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to play around with it a little bit so as you can understand it the simplest like sort of way. So now that I'm happy with that, I'm just going to minimize it a little bit more, and I'm going to place that. Okay, so I'm happy with the size, I'm happy with the placement of it, and obviously now I'm going to like tweak it up a little bit or enhance it a little bit. So it's the same process. You go over to the little tabs over here, you find out what it's called, and you double click on it. Once you've double clicked, you get exactly the same sort of options, but I'm not going to go crazy with this now. I'm just going to do a few little things to enhance it a little bit. So I'm happy with that, really happy with that actually. And then obviously not tick too many boxes. So now that that's that, press OK. So now I'm going to look for my next one now. So I've got Hermes, I'm going to look for DHL maybe, because they're all different delivery parcel companies. And a lot of people suffer with problems from them. So let's have a little look, see what DHL got. They should have loads, to be honest. So let's see if we can save this one. It says JPEG. So this is what I'm trying to say. Like sometimes, like when you're searching up PNG, Google gets a little bit confused, and it obviously says about JPEG. So I don't want this one. I want one with a PNG. So let's see if we can find another one. Maybe this one. No, that's another JPEG. So let's have another look. Maybe this one. Save image as. that says JPEG as well. So this is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes when you're trying to make like a little thumbnail or whatever, it's not as quick maybe as what you might think it is. But this one here, let's see if I can save this, because I can always resize it. Yeah, even though that says JPEG, it doesn't matter. I'll accept that because obviously it doesn't have a white border or a background. So now that I have that, I'll bring it back to my picture, and then I'll hold this one down, drag it into here. And like I said, don't worry about the size because you can always resize it. Now, I'm going to resize it roughly to the same size as what the Hermes one is. And then just drag it up to the top. So it's there. And then maybe another couple I can fit in here. So like I said, it's all about the placement, okay? So however you want your picture to stand out, all right? This, I think, is going to stand out to quite a few people, actually. So I'm really happy with that. I'm going to place that one there as well. And then put a few little effects on it to make it look a little bit better. So just need to find the right one. There it is, DHL. Double click on this one. Contour. And then drop shadow. Now that sticks out a lot better than it did before. I'm really happy with that. Maybe in a glow. Yeah, that's a lot better. And then press OK. So now I've got my Hermes DHL. I'm going to try and put DPD in here maybe as well, because that's quite a popular courier company. So let's have a little look. DPD. And there's probably many others as well that I haven't even mentioned. But these are pretty popular, to be fair. So have a little look to see which one I can find. Maybe if I can use this one. Let's have a little look. It says PNG. Let's press save. And then see if it has got the transparent part. Speaking of delivery service, I've just had a delivery of a parcel as well, so I've been waiting a little while for that. That's another person that I can add, so that'll be Royal Mail as well. There's another problem. It just reminded me. So I've got my DPD, so let's drag it into the picture. Right, let's drag this back up to the top, so as it maximizes it a little bit more. And obviously you can move it around, like I said, any way you want. I'm just going to resize this a tiny little bit more to fit it all in. And then Royal Mail will be able to fit just there as well. So I'm very happy with the placement of that. Place that. And then once we've done that, have a little look to see if you can find where it was. There it is. It's the DPD one. And then contour, and then drop shadow. So that stands out a hell of a lot more. So let's go to OK. Once that's done now, I'm going to put Royal Mail in there as well. Okay, so it really is starting to look really good now. I'm very happy with this. Okay, so Royal Mail, seeing as they've just turned up very late, in fact 2 days late. Right, Royal Mail. Let's see what pictures come up for this. So this is a pretty standard picture, to be honest. Yep. Let's see if we can go for this. Yep, there we go. Save image as. Yep, PNG, that's fine. So this is, like I said, it's very easy to do. If you have Photoshop, you can basically mess around and practice as much as you can, but you need to make sure that you have the dimensions that I've given you, and then you'll be able to make as many cool pictures that you want. So just going to move this a little bit more down. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this has come out. Yeah, very happy. So let me just stretch this out a little bit more like that so people can see it a bit better. Right, and then place this one. Now that that's been placed, like I said, just put a couple of little effects on it so it enhances it a bit better. And then drop shadow, that stands out a hell of a lot more. Right, so now that we have our 4 little labels up the top, okay, I've enhanced every single one of them. I also showed you how to do the text, and obviously even this little picture here of the guy. It's totally up to you exactly how you want the placement to look. and obviously like the text is very, very simple. I'll show you again. If you want a bit of text on there, press the TI icon. Once you press the TI icon, you can just basically mess around with any text that you want. Okay, so for instance, going to say, where is my parcel? Just to obviously like be a bit serious about it. Or where is my package? Like, yeah, package. There we go. And then I could even put like a question mark at the end here. So if, say for instance, you finish typing your actual text, you can go back onto it and then put a question mark. There we go. But you can also change the sizing of this. So say for instance, if I want it on 60, so you can have like all the rest of the text the same sort of size when it comes to the end, but you can always make that a little bit larger. But seeing as I've got a lot more space down the bottom to play with, I'm going to try it on a little bit bigger and see obviously like what will fit in. So like I said, this is like a rough idea just to show you what will fit into your picture, what won't. Okay, so obviously 48 is a little bit too big, right? But you can also, if you really want to, right, type in some numbers. So you can put 40 if you want. And then I've seen that 40 actually fits pretty well. Okay, and then I'm going to move it around. So I'm very happy with that. Very, very happy with that. So now that I've got all that, I can see over here exactly where it is. And like I said before, okay, even with this, it sticks out a little bit. I'm very happy with that. But I want to make this bit stick out a little bit more as well. So just click on a few options which you think that is going to suit your picture best. Gradient overlay. And then maybe a stroke. There we go. So you can see what I'm saying. Like if you mess around with the settings, you'll be able to get the exact picture that you want. Okay, so I'm extremely happy with how the whole picture's come out. Very, very happy. It doesn't take too long at all whatsoever. But like I said, it's just you just trialing and erroring things. That's all it is. You just got to try things and see what works for you, see what don't. All right, and then once that's all done, click on File, click on Save As. Okay. And then obviously you need to select the format. The format is going to be JPEG. Okay. And then you need to give it a name. So I'm just going to call it delivery. There we go. And then it's going to be saved to the desktop. Press save. And then make sure the quality is on 12. Okay. And then it's on maximum. And basically this means like, even though no matter what I've done on here, it's still going to save it as 475 kilobytes. It's not really a lot. But YouTube, it will only allow you 2 megabytes for your picture to be uploaded. So this is well within the actual range. So I'm fine with this. Second I press OK, it's going to be saved on the desktop. I don't want to save this thing again. And now this is my picture. So if I double click on this, you'll be able to see exactly what it is. All right, so give it a second to load up. And now when it comes to YouTube, all right, this will be my new picture. And I'll show you, if you really want, I'll show you how to upload it. Okay, so once that's done and you're really happy with it, I'm going to go onto my YouTube channel now. Yeah. And once it's loaded on my YouTube channel, go into YouTube Studio. And what you need to do now is go down to videos. And then live, because this is a live video and so are the other ones from before. So this is the actual video that I want to edit. So this is the one for the company problems, okay? But if you click on the edit title and description, you'll only be able to see like the actual title and the description itself. So by clicking on the Creator Studio Classic and then go to Other and then Submit. Okay, now you see the edit button. Okay, so this is obviously the last video that I've done. This was yesterday. So if I click on edit, and then you see the row of pictures here. Yeah, it's going to ask you to save this as a thumbnail, but we don't want to do that. Just go to the last one and then click on change image. Okay, now it's going to ask you to find this image that you've just finished and completed, and it's here. So I saved it as delivery, but you can call your one whichever you want. Press open. Now it's uploading that picture to YouTube. Now that's done. Okay, click save changes, and now it's going to be saving it. And down at the bottom it says all changes saved. Okay, so now if we go back, it should be changed. Typical YouTube, always going wrong. Right, so I'm just going to reload my page again. Okay, and then have a little look through the videos. So let's click on videos. Here we are now. So it says delivery company problems, right? Hermes, DPD and DHL. But you can see that the picture's now changed. Instead of looking like a thumbnail like this, because obviously this is still the live video, all right? This is what my thumbnail now looks like. So this is what you can create. All your thumbnails obviously like will look amazing. But if you just upload any basic thumbnails, it's not really going to draw much attention to the eye of the people that wants to watch it. All right, so with a little bit of practice, okay, it doesn't take too long at all whatsoever, and just get yourself a like Photoshop, and obviously you'd be able to use the trial version for a little while. If you're happy with it, then purchase it by all means. All right, it's completely up to you if you want to have a little go with this, and if you really are unsure, just put down in the comments below. I've tried it, I'm really not too sure what I'm doing. I will try and help you out as much as I can as possible. All right. But I'm really grateful for everyone that's obviously like constantly watching all the videos and sharing it and liking, and obviously like just make sure that you subscribe to the channel for more videos coming soon. All right, but I wish everyone to have a lovely Christmas, and it's been fantastic talking to you all. Okay, take care and have a lovely day.